Greetings once again, mages out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Fairy Tale the 100 Years Quest. Previously, we had the clash between Jalal and God Serena, where God Serena was finally able to live up to the legend that he was previously, before his defeat at the hands of Acnologia, really putting Jalal on the back foot. Meanwhile, Athena has come to the aid of Natsu, and the two face off against Duke Boroboroa and Athena too, while Rogue and Froth investigate the Gold Owl headquarters, finding it strewn with puppets, showing that the illusion that our heroes found when they first entered Gold Owl was the work of puppetry. And yet it seems so real. Do more secrets lie within the abilities of the members of Gold Owl? Not to mention, how did Athena and Rogue get split up when they had come together? Why was Rogue left behind and not Athena? And all the while, the mages of Sabretooth continue to search for the Philosopher's Stone, while Urza still faces off against the Signario sisters, 2-1. Who will be next to fall? Join me as I find out, won't you? Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 144, Beyond Sin. And either this is a Urza chapter, a Jalal chapter, or both, as we cut back to when they were young and enslaved in the Tower of Heaven. Well, constructing the Tower of Heaven. Happier days while still in chains. Probably right before everything went terribly wrong. Oh, a flashback to Jalal. So just like we had the flashback of when Urza lived in the same village as Kaguya and Simon, before the Tower of Heaven and all that, we get to see what was happening with Jalal. So his father died. I have to assume his mother died as well. But we pick up with a young Jalal and his mother standing over a grave. She says, "Sigrain, pray to your father." Wait, is Sigrain his actual name and not Jalal? Or am I misremembering something? The young Sigrain says, "Mom, I'll protect you from now on." With tears welling up in his eyes in the rain, he says, "I'll learn magic and join the Magic Council." His mother, who looks a whole lot like Urza, honestly. His mother looks to him saying, "Then you'll need to go to a magic school outside our village." Sigrain says, "I will." She asks, "How will we pay for it?" Sigrain says, I'll work and save up money." His mother drops the umbrella and she hugs him. With tears in her eyes, she says, "As long as you're well, that's all I need." As Sigrain holds his mother, he says, "I want to become a man who can protect you." We then cut to, much like Urza's flashback, a village in fire. The same followers of Zareth coming in, raiding the village, shouting, "The kids! Get the kids! Kill the adult!" The people of the village say, Who are they? Child snatchers?" And we see children being taken by the cultists. The young Sigrain shouts with fire all around him, "Mom! Where are you, Mom?" His mom yells out, "Sigrain, over here! Come here!" He sees his mom on a nearby ledge, and as Sigrain runs towards her, shouting for her. Of course, she's suddenly slashed by one of the cultists in the back. Sigrain looks on, panic in his eyes as his mother falls. He cries out for his mom, tears in his eyes, while the cultists say, "A kid! Get him!" And they tackle Sigrain to the ground as he screams out. We then cut to the construction of the Tower of Heaven. We see a young Sigrain, now a prisoner of the cultists. A young Wally and Miliana spot him. Wally says, "What's your name?" Sigrain doesn't respond, but Wally gives a smile saying, "Mine's Wally." Sigrain begins to answer saying, "I'm Sig," but then he stops. He thinks to himself, imagining himself at the magic school, thinking, no, Sig would be going to a magic school right about now to get strong enough to protect Mom. So he disassociated. He'd do so well there that he'd get admitted to a school in the city. He'd graduate at the top of his class and head for the council next. He'd heap up countless achievements, and we get a very familiar scene that looks like our first introduction to Sigrain, saying, as he thinks, and become a member of the council. So he disassociated. Okay. It did feel like that to a certain degree. Like he took on this other persona in order to become something else. It is an actual thing. Intense trauma, creating another personality to take on that pain. Sigrain thinks, it's not me that's here. It's not Sigrain. It's not me. And Sigrain looks up saying, Jalal. Okay, that, taking things into that kind of account, I know it's a bit of a retcon, but even still, when Jalal came back after he died at the end of the Tower of Heaven and, everything happened, it was obvious he was grappling with multiple personalities and everything that was happening, and he was possessed by the spirit of Zareth, and it wasn't even that, it was Ultir, and yada yada yada. Jalal is a tortured person. Everything that happened, he was very tortured. And now, what we know nowadays, people create, that's how you gain this dissociative identity disorder, through trauma. You create another persona to help deal with trauma you can't normally. And it even would explain how he was so easily able to create two different personas, Jalal and Seagrain, because his mind to a certain degree was kind of fractured in order to deal with everything that was happening. We then pick up in present day where Jalal is being tortured by God Serena's dark dragon magic. God Serena looks down at Jalal with blackened eyes, saying, "The dark dragon is using your darkness and sin to eat away at your heart. God, suffer." Jalal is consumed by the darkness. He screams and gasps as God Serena says, "You said you were a real sinner. The dark dragon will destroy your flesh in response to your sins too. Go on, be consumed by your sin." And Jalal remembers it all. The day when his mind finally broke. The day he was fully taken in by the will of Zareth, when he killed many of the cultists, when he even hurt Urza, and everything he did at the Tower of Heaven. The deception of Seagrain. All of it. Jalal thinks to himself, sins don't disappear, but my darkness was illuminated by a scarlet light. And he thinks of Urza. Jalal begins to stand, much to the shock of God Serena. Jalal thinks to himself, I decided I wouldn't stray again. I decided I would move forward and he says, to become a fairy tale wizard. Really? Technically was a member temporarily during the Grand Magic Games, though he didn't fully get the guild mark. As Jalal makes his stand, God Serena is in shock, saying, the Dark Dragon's power is being purified? God Serena goes to act, saying, 8 dragons, but Jalal once again goes into position to use the 7 stars. God Serena mocks him, saying, haven't you learned? That won't work on me. Oh, that's right. Urza did offer to have him join. He remembers Urza's words, saying, won't you join us in Fairy Tale? And Jalal thinks to himself, she said I could be a member of her family. I want to repay that sentiment. He then goes from 7 fingers to 9, much to the shock of God Serena, as he uses 9 stars pierce the heaven, and 9 lights shine above God Serena, as Jalal uses Orion. Oh jeez. As the blast hits God Serena, his flesh begins to melt off, revealing the dull clockwork beneath it. God Serena calls out, how dare you! But before God Serena can fight back against it, he's hit. Much in the same way that Acnologia hit God Serena once, Jalal hit him in the same manner. Jalal tells him as he falls, you're already dead. Return to the netherworld quietly. I'll send you there, to a world without sin. Alright, nice win by Jalal. Or Seagrain. Which is kind of odd because Mystigan's actual name was Jalal. An interesting bit of insight, though, into a lot of what happened to him previously. It really does make sense that someone going through something like that would invent another persona entirely to deal with what they were going through. It's an actual psychological thing. Although, I think he kind of consolidated it a little bit earlier on than most people. At least that's a good enough explanation. I mean, we've moved so far beyond a lot of what Jalal did in the past. And I do wonder, will he fully join Fairy Tale? I mean, what about Crime Sorcerer or Sorcière? But it was actually nice seeing, Jalal fight, on the side of Fairy Tale. He's done so before, but, to really see him get like a solid face-off like this. And God Serena, hey, he got to show that he wasn't any slouch. Like, he was tough. God Serena gave the business to several fairly tough characters. He gave Natsu a run for his money. Gajeel, dude was running the ones with a lot of characters. And we know that Jalal is fairly powerful, and for him to finally be able to put that on full display really show his stuff, good on ya. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you like seeing Jalal take it to God Serena in the end? And to find out that the Seagreen persona went a little bit deeper than you might have thought. How do you feel about this change? For me, it doesn't really change too much. I mean, just because we now know the last name of Urza's mother and what she would technically be called by doesn't mean we suddenly stopped calling her Urza Scarlet. She's still called Urza Scarlet because that is the name she goes by. That is the name we know her by. So unless Jalal starts going around saying, "Call me Seagrain," which I kind of doubt, he's still Jalal. We just now have a deeper understanding of all the crap he went through, and surprise, surprise, much like everyone else, it wasn't pretty. Father died, mother murdered, captured, tortured, imprisoned. He broke. And to find out that a lot of what he did as Seagrain wasn't just a front, it was what he always wanted. It's just that dark persona of his, it came at the forefront. That darkness, that bitterness, that hatred, that rage, all came out at the Tower of Heaven. And while understandably there are probably still those who won't forgive Jalal, I mean, after what he did, it's understandable, the lives he took. But Jalal accepts that sin. Now, he doesn't fully ask for forgiveness, and I understand that. He understands that he may never be forgiven, and he accepts that. He's come to terms with that. But there are people who still love and care for him. And, as someone who has done things in the past that I know I probably won't be forgiven, or might be if I were to ask for it, I understand the idea of wanting to just move forward for the people who do care about you and you can do right by. Just because you did wrong in the past to some people doesn't mean you can't make good for others somewhere down the line. And as long as you don't repeat your past mistakes, maybe you can do and be something better. But hey, that's just my thoughts. So let me know yours in the comment section below. So remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.